When an amount of money is lent, the interest on this amount is calculated on the basis of simple interest or compound interest. When the interest is added up to the principal after a year or 6 months, and that amount is taken as the new principal for the continuation, for the period that follows, then it is called as compound interest. The interest that you get is called as compound interest. When the principal remains same and interest is calculated, it is called simple interest. We have simple formulas for this. Say, I would prefer to use formula for amount for both of this instead of using formula for simple interest. Amount by simple interest should be principal plus PTR by 100, where time is in years, rate is per annum, interest percentage per annum, principal time in years. Now, amount by compound interest is given by the formula principal multiplied by 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of n, where n refers to number of compoundings and R refers to rate of interest. N refers to number of compoundings. Now, this is the basic formula which we have to use in different situations. There are certain situations where the questions get a little complicated. That is, when they would ask you to find out the difference between amount by simple interest and amount by compound interest, or they would give you the difference between these two, like 40 rupees or 400 rupees, say. 400 rupees is the difference between simple interest and compound interest for 3 years at 5% rate. Find the principal. To find the principal, you cannot use this 400 either in this formula or that formula. This is the difference. So put 3 and 5% in these two formulas, take the difference, and that difference you have to equate to 400. Anyways, you know T and R, there is only one unknown, which is P. You can do it, but it takes a lot of time. So we have a different method, a different approach to this. So the approach, I'll tell you first. Say the approach would be like this. Let us make a simplification. We'll put up a shortcut that tells us about the difference between these two values, about the difference between amount by simple interest and amount by compound interest. Of course, the difference between simple interest and compound interest is also the same as amount by simple interest and amount by compound interest difference. Okay. So now the difference between these two we have to find out. Say for 2 years, the difference between these two would be PR square by 100. 100 square. So for different number of years, we have different differences. That is, for 3 years, you have a different value as the difference between simple interest and compound interest, or amount by simple interest and amount by compound interest. When you need a generalized statement for n number of years, then this is the strategy you follow. Start from 2, write numbers up to n. If say n equal to 4, I will write the situation. 2, 3, 4 are written. Then write 4c for each of these terms and put r by 100 in each place. R by 100, r by 100. R by 100 taken to the power whatever base you have given here. R by 100 whole square, R by 100 whole cube, R by 100 whole power 4. These three values added multiplied by P is the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Now, how does this help? Most of the times, for the principles that you have, the principal being small, R being small, that is compared to 100, R would be 10% interest, 15% interest at max. Now, 15 power 4 by 100 power 4 would be a value with point not at least 4 decimal places. Later you have a number after 4 zeros. So this is a very small value which will not make much significant difference. So in most of the questions you can neglect this part. Most of the questions you can neglect this part. Even if you neglect this also, still using this you get an approximate value. That is, if you have to find amount by compound interest, say there is another question, you find amount by simple interest, the formula is very simple. You will not have to take 1.05, that is 1 plus pi by 100, 1.05 to the power 4, 1.05 to the power 5. This calculation you will not have to do. So what you have to do is just take one or two values of this, 2 better. If you take 2, it is better. Say take 2 values of it, find the value, it is a simpler calculation, find the value and add it to the amount by simple interest. You will get amount by compound interest. This is how you have to solve it. Now, when there is a tougher question, it is easier for us because we start solving from that point. When there is a tougher question, how can it be? The difference between these two are given. Find the principal, then put it in this formula and find out. So that tougher question, how is it easier for us? Say the previous question that I told you, it was for 3 years. So by our method, what we should be doing is start from 2 right up to 3, then write 3c, r by 100 whole square, r by 100 whole cube, add these two, multiply with p, should be the difference between simple interest and compound interest. This is equal to 400. So directly you have an equation for 400. Now what next? 3c2 and 3c3 are simple values. 3c2 should be 3, r square by 100 square, plus 3c3 is 1, r cube by 100 cube. Multiplying this by principal, you get 400. Now you have to solve for r is also known as 5. R was also given in the question. Rate is 5%. Time is 3 years. So r is known as 5 square, 25 by 100 square, 3 into 25 by 100 into 100 plus this whole into principal, anyways, plus 25 into 3, 125, that is r cube, 5 cube by 100 cube. This should be equal to 400. Now you have to simplify this further, then write P should be equal to 400 multiplied by some value. The LCM of these two should be 100 cube. 100 cube is taken as the LCM. That goes to the numerator, 100 cube. And here I have 100 into this value. Here the value remains same. 2500 into 3, 7500 plus 125. This is 400 into 7,82500. This is the value of principal. 7625, sorry. 7500 plus 125, 7625. Simplify that to find the value of principal. And then you can apply it back in the amount for simple interest formula. Add 400 to it, you get amount by compound interest. If you want to find out. Or principal if you want, just simplify this. So this is how it gets better.